All right, Carin. So it's very nice to meet you.
Nice to
I know I
meet
met you
you.
yesterday in
Yes,
person,
yes.
and I think everybody knows who you are, right?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Well, first off, welcome to another episode of the Keeping It Simple with Ferlon podcast. We have Carin Gilfry. It's Gilfry or Gilfrey?
Gilfry.
Yes, I had it right the first time.
Yeah.
One of the most well-known voice actresses out there.
I don't know about that either, but I'm flattered.
Oh, yeah.
Please continue. No.
I shall. Tell me about yourself. I know you're a mother. You just mentioned your daughter.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about yourself.
Great. I am a voice actor. I do a lot of commercials and video games and true crime narration and phone systems and all kinds of stuff. I started as an opera singer.
Oh, sweet.
And I also run the Vocation Conference, which we have two conferences every year. One is eVocation, that's online,
Right.
and the other one is in a tropical destination
Okay.
every year, which is really fun.
Mhm.
I'm a mom, and I'm also the co-founder and vice president of the National Association of Voice Actors,
Okay.
NAVA.
Nava. So it's Nava, not Nava. Okay.
I mean, people say
people say
NAVA,
that.
NAVA. We don't care as long as you just know who we are.
with all the things you do, which one? Oh, sure. I guess you're probably proud of all of them.
Yeah, I'm so proud.
Oh, yeah. Kind of talk about Nava, because I
Yeah.
know Nava helps voice actors. Go in detail about that, because I know a little about Nava and I know about the AI writer, but I know you do much more than that.
We
So
do.
can you get in?
We do advocacy work.
Okay.
We've been going to DC to talk to senators and congresspeople about AI legislation.
Okay.
So that's a major focus of NAVA, is supporting the No Fakes Act in the Senate and the No AI Fraud Act in the House. But beyond that, we were just at the White House last week.
Nice.
This week, actually. What week is it? On Tuesday, we
Sounds
were at the White
fun.
House. We were invited by the National Security Advisor of Emerging Technology to come and talk about AI and voice and how the changing landscape is affecting people from our industry. But also, we were talking a lot about consumer protections
Okay.
and how people who use their voice to access their bank account,
Oh,
for
yeah,
example, how that might be dangerous,
Okay.
especially for us as voice actors, because there's so many hours of our voice out there in
Yes.
the world.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. But NAVA also offers a health insurance plan, a national health insurance plan for our members, vision and dental. We have classes. If you're a member, you get at least one free class a month.
Okay.
But non-members can come and join our classes anytime. We offer scholarships to conferences. We help people with emergency payments. We help people with legal aid.
Really?
We have best practices pages. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in NAVA, and I'm happy to do all of it.
No, absolutely. I missed the panel earlier, but I was like, I said, if I can talk
Yeah,
to Carin,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can find out some
Of
more
course.
information. And when voice actors are working, they have a client, and they got booked for a job, do you think now it's a necessity to send the AI writer?
I would.
Okay.
I would, because we're seeing a lot. People come to us and tell us the stories of things that have happened to them.
Okay.
And one of the things that is happening now is you'll do a job for a client, and then they'll change the script. And normally they would contact you and say, "Hey, could you do a pickup really fast?" And we'll just
Yeah.
slide that in and fix it. Now they're not asking that. They're just taking the file that you made with them and putting it into an AI engine
Okay.
and making a synthetic version of that pickup and putting it into the file.
Okay.
Which, at first glance, you think like, all right, well, I guess I just lost a pickup fee, whatever. It's like $100, or I guess I can live without it. But the problem is, when they upload your voice into a synthetic voice generation tool, you have no idea which one they're using.
Okay.
You have no idea what the terms of service are for that company. And that company could now have your voice as part of their data set.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So part of the AI synthetic voice contract writer is about educating your clients
Okay.
about what you want.
Okay.
So even if no one ever takes their client to court and tries to get money from them, even just having it there, even just bringing it up in an email, is opening the conversation with that client and basically saying, I don't want you to do this with my voice.
No, absolutely. And obviously you've learned all this, like I would say, over the years. I mean, that's a lot of good information. I'm just thinking, you've learned this over the years, like how to handle clients. And did you come up with the AI writer, or was it just you all as a group?
We all as a group. We all as a group decided, we should just have some kind of addendum to contracts.
Okay.
So we came up with it as a group, but the text was actually written by Rob Siglam-Paglia, who is a great lawyer. He's like the voiceover lawyer.
Yeah.
A lot of us use him when we need contract reviews or when we need people to, go after clients or whatever.
I think you all had him at eVocation. I don't know if it was last year or the
year
before.
I think so.
Okay, awesome. And you and I spoke briefly yesterday, and I was asking you just like how you got to where you are now.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of beginning voice actors and people who've been in the business a while are wondering like what it took. And I know one thing you did say, and I don't want to but anyway, one thing you did say was like you don't believe in quitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, what advice?
I would say I'm going to tell you a story.
Okay.
And I hope this resonates with your listeners.
Oh yeah.
But there's a story that I read in a book called Art and Fear.
Okay.
And it's the story of a guy who was teaching a pottery class at a community college.
Mm-hmm.
He separated his whole class, beginning pottery students, into two groups.
Okay.
The first group, he said, I want you to make the most perfect pot that you possibly can in 2 weeks. Spend the entire 2 weeks working on one pot and make it as beautiful as you can. To the second group, he said, I want you to make as many pots as you can in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And at the end of the 2 weeks, they all were supposed to present their work to the class.
Mm-hmm.
What happened at the end of that 2 weeks was that the people who made many pots had pots that were stronger, they were more creative, and they were better overall.
Okay.
Because the people who made just one pot,
they
spent so much time agonizing over this tiny detail, and they didn't get the experience of doing the entire process, start to finish, and get better every time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with voiceover. You need to give yourself as many opportunities as possible to go start to finish.
Okay.
As much experience as you can give yourself. So for me, that's auditions.
Okay.
When I started, I was auditioning. And auditioning was my conditioning.
Okay.
So that when you book that job, you know how to open up a script on your computer. Just the basics.
Okay.
You know how to press record. You know how to give a warm, friendly conversational read versus something that's like zany and animated versus something that's video game versus something that's true crime, because you've practiced all of those things within the course of auditioning.
No, absolutely.
So for me, going from point A to point XYZ has been just repeating the action over and over and getting better every time.
Okay. So would the pots correspond to the genres or just as many times as you're going after?
To me, it's just do as much voiceover as you can.
Okay.
Do as many auditions, do as much practice, just keep doing it, and don't spend a lot of time going, oh, I don't know, let me think about how I should redo this one audition, and this one audition is going to take me an hour. In an hour's time, you could do, 20 auditions.
Okay.
Versus just agonizing over one.
Okay.
So getting out of your head and just doing it again and again and again will give you better results overall than agonizing over the details of one small thing.
So when you're getting that audition, it's just like, obviously you're focused. I'm sure you have a methodology or whatnot. But if you have one audition, how long now at this point would it take for you to complete that?
2 to 5 minutes usually.
Oh wow, okay, man.
And my process is usually, I get the script, I look at the specs, I open it up. I don't even usually read through the text, because the first time I read it, I like to give a cold read.
Okay. Like
I like
completely
it.
cold.
Completely cold. And sometimes I don't send that take. Sometimes that take is awesome, and I'm like, wow, this sounded so spontaneous and real. I love it. But this is mostly for commercials. If it's something that's animation or video games, and I need to know the context of the scene, then of course I read through it. But I read the specs, I open the script, I read the script, and then I might think about a different way that I do it. I read it again, and I send it. Absolutely. I don't edit after the fact. I edit on the fly, actually. So I do punch and roll. If I make a mistake, I'll stop and I'll put the playhead back to the last good part. I take a breath and I punch in and finish it.
Okay.
But so 2 to 5 minutes per audition.
That's pretty good. So that shows me I need to pick up the pace, and I'm grateful for that story. You helped me out a ton.
Yeah.
And I want to always ask different voice actors or business people this. Just when you're building your business, I'm sure we obviously have moments of success, but then there are moments of failure, if you want to call it failure, or setbacks. Have you had those? And,
Yes.
how did you get through it and keep
Oh
pushing?
man, when I was starting, I literally was eating pasta and frozen peas and frozen chicken
Oh, really?
because that was all I could afford.
Yeah, yeah.
There were times when I didn't know if I could pay my rent for the month.
Mm-hmm.
But my way to get through it and to deal with it is to really dig deep into my own belief in my own abilities.
Okay, okay.
So for me, if I'm having like a slow month, I know I just need to pick up my effort. I
Okay.
know that I need to, maybe instead of auditioning, I'll try some reaching out to studios directly. Or
Okay.
maybe if I'm not booking a lot with my agents, I'll call my agents on the phone and we have a conversation about like, hey, so it seems kind of slow, like what's going on? And they
Yeah,
might
yeah.
tell me something like, we just lost one of our big ad agency clients, and so that's why you're not seeing as many. Or they might say something like, like it seems like your reads are kind of slower than normal. Maybe pick up
Oh,
the
really?
pace, or something that I could change,
Okay, okay.
So, but I always rely on my own ability to pull myself out of it. I
Okay.
believe in myself, and I believe that I will always have the drive to go out and do the next thing.
Yeah, persistence, and I really like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
Anything else I didn't ask? And I got 50 other questions, but I know you got to move. But anything you want to add that I didn't ask? Anything that you love for people to know?
In closing, I think I would say that there is absolutely nothing special about me in particular. There are hundreds of other women like me who do voiceover. But there's also no one else like me.
Yeah.
And I think when you, as an actor, as a business person, as a person, can just sit comfortably with the fact that no one has ever been born on the same moment, in the same moment, with the same life experience. No one has exactly the same voice as you. And bringing yourself is enough. You don't have to be anyone that you're not. That's when you will go from like just being, beginning voiceover to like success.
Yeah. I keep hearing different voice actors, casting directors, and agents say that, but it's interesting that we are ourselves, but it's still hard. I don't know if it's hard to accept that when you're performing.
What's hard is the reading part of it, I think, because like I think back to being in like 3rd or 4th grade, right? When you're learning to read and you like open up a book and you have to read out loud in front of the class,
Yeah, it things change. Yeah, that's right.
When you read something, it sounds different from when you are just speaking it.
Yes.
So finding a way to make your reading voice sound more like your actual speaking voice, that's also the key, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. You gave us a lot of really good information. I love that story.
Thank you.
I'm going to remember that story forever.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, Carin.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you. And that was another episode of the Keeping It Simple with Ferlon podcast with Carin Gilfry.
Yeah, thank you, Ferlon.